Thank you, Jabba, for that question. It's probably the most critical issue in our methodology, and it's sometimes perceived as the most difficult, but not really. Let me explain. As you suggest, we must always sort out the effect of our program on the data. There's a number of different ways to do that, and we list those in the order of accuracy and credibility in our documents. We're sending you a document that's got that in some detail. It's a little application guide. Page 8 describes these steps. It starts with the classic experimental versus control group. Here's where we have one program gets the data, gets the program, another one does not, and we compare those. And the difference is our improvement from our program. The problem is we don't always have the groups that we can match up, but we try. In our best practice benchmarking, 32% of these studies are using that technique. There's another technique called trend line analysis, where we actually take the business measure that we are driving, we trend the pre-programmed data set to the post period, then we look at the actual versus the trend, and that difference is attributed to the program if it meets two conditions. One is, would the trend have continued if it did nothing about it? And second, did anything else new enter the process that might be influencing that actual data? If the answer is no, then we can use it. We like to try that. 29% of the studies are using that technique. That's the good news. But now, there's another more analytical approach. It's called forecasting. It gets into mathematical modeling. This is where we try to connect the other influences that are driving our measure to the measure in question using some kind of mathematical process. So we actually forecast the results using this relationship. We look at the actual versus the forecast, and we use that. Unfortunately, it doesn't work so much. 5% of the time it's used, that's our best practice benchmarking. Now the dominant method is the participant estimate. That's an estimate from the person who knows it best. And that's often the participant in our program. We're asking them, when we look at their measure, they see their measure, they see the impact. We're asking them, what other factors could have caused this? And how much of that improvement, what percent is connected directly to my program? And then we take that amount and we do an error adjustment. That is, we ask them, what is your confidence in that allocation on a scale of 0 to 100%? 0 is no confidence and 100% is certainty. And so we're going to multiply that. Let me give an example. If someone has increased sales by a certain amount and 30% of that sales increase goes to my program, they're 80% confidence with that, we're going to multiply the 80 times the 30, that's 24%, we're going to claim 24%. And that's 55% of the time we see that method being used. Those are the order of accuracy and credibility. Classic experimental versus control group, trend line, forecasting, and estimates from participants. There are others, but those are our main ones, and those are our most important ones. We can do this, we always do it, it's one of our standards. We must do that to be credible. Thank you for that question.